All right, let's get right into it. This week, we're digging into how one single partnership sent absolute shockwaves through the real estate industry. And it didn't stop there. It sparked new laws and cranked up the anxiety in a market that's already on edge. That sounds like a line from a movie, right? But it's exactly what went down in real estate this week. And it all kicked off with a move that I don't think anyone really saw coming. So who are the two players here? We're talking about Compass and Redfin. These guys are major competitors, big names in the game. But they just announced they're teaming up, and it has everyone, and I mean everyone, talking. Now, on the surface, this seems pretty simple, right? One brokerage is just sharing its pre-market listings on another's website, but the implications of this, they are massive. Why? Because it completely sidesteps the way things have always been done. See, this move cuts right to the heart of this huge industry debate. For decades, the multiple listing service, the MLS, has been the place, the central hub for every listing. It's the foundation of what's called organized real estate. But this partnership, it creates a private pipeline, a direct route between two giants that exist totally outside of that old system. It's a massive challenge to the status quo. And believe me, the reaction was immediate and it was intense. This quote just perfectly captures the feeling in the air. People weren't just seeing this as some small business deal. They saw it as a legitimate threat to the entire system, talking about war rooms and worst-case scenarios. So, of course, a move like this doesn't just happen in a bubble. It sent these immediate shockwaves through the whole ecosystem, and suddenly everybody is scrambling to figure out their next move. The other brokers? Well, for now, they're kind of in this wait-and-see mode. They're definitely intrigued, maybe a little nervous, but they're not quite ready to ditch the MLS and jump on this new bandwagon. The key word there, though, is yet. Everyone is watching very, very closely. And all this anxiety, it's not just staying in boardrooms anymore. Nope, it's actually spilling over into government buildings. The establishment is starting to fight back, but not with a new app, a business model. They're fighting back with laws. We're seeing legislators in more and more states introduce bills that are specifically designed to stop these kinds of private listing deals. The whole point is to force listings to be marketed broadly and publicly, which basically means forcing them back onto the multiple listing service. So when you really boil it all down, this isn't just about where you can find a house online. This is a fundamental struggle for power. It's a battle over who controls the data, who sets the terms for transparency, and ultimately, who controls the future of the market itself. Okay, so as if an industry-wide power struggle wasn't enough to deal with, all of this is playing out against a backdrop of some serious economic craziness that's hitting every single agent and consumer. Let's talk about the mortgage rates. It feels like ages ago now, but it was just last week that the whole market kind of breathed a collective sigh of relief. We finally got some good news we'd all been waiting for. For the first time in over 3 years, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate dropped below that big 6% mark. I mean, that was a huge psychological win. It felt like maybe, just maybe, things were starting to cool down. Yeah, that feeling didn't last long, not even close. Before we could really even process the good news, the market did a complete 180 and rates started climbing all over again. By Tuesday, that little dream of sub-6% rates was over. They shot right back up to 6.15%, basically wiping out all the progress from the week before and reminding us just how bumpy this ride is. So what caused this whiplash? Global events. It's just a crystal clear reminder that the real estate market does not exist on an island. It's tangled up with geopolitics and the global economy, which makes it incredibly hard to predict. So we've got an industry power play, a legal battle brewing, and a mortgage market that's all over the place. How do all of these pieces actually fit together? You can really see the domino effect here. It all starts with this one disruptive partnership that challenges the whole system. That, in turn, triggers this defensive reaction, this push for new laws. And all of this is happening while these crazy volatile rates are squeezing everyone, adding a ton of pressure to a system that's already cracking. Look, in a market that is changing this fast and on so many different fronts, just being aware of what's happening isn't really enough anymore. Understanding how all these forces are connected, that's absolutely essential for figuring out what to do next. And that leaves us with the one big final question. With these new alliances forming, new rules being written, and this constant economic uncertainty, are we literally watching the entire real estate playbook get rewritten right now in real time? The answer could change everything. We'll be watching. Thanks for tuning in.